Wow, week 2, Director's Workshop. We are going to be entering into this week with some powerful things. And I know that last week was a week that took a lot of you down so many different paths. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably going, well, I got day 1, I got day 2, I got day 3. Where was day 4 and day 5 on the YouTube channel? You won't find it. This is going to be your next day. And the reason being is we don't always put everything that we do on the workshops here on our YouTube channel. And the reason for that is because we want you to actually do the workshops. So we will provide a lot of the information here on YouTube, but we also keep some things exclusive for the workshop itself. But last week we talked about finding the proper screenplay. And then we talked about storyboarding your life and your future. And then we ended it with a week of talking about the proper setting, the proper place, where you are going, the proper location, and how it is important for you to be in charge of all these things that really impact the future, the current, the present, and the future of your life. We're going to start this week. This is week 2, day 1. We're going to start this with something just as important as the things you learned last week in the workshop. Before we get into that, what I want to do is congratulate you for taking week 1 and knocking it out of the park. I know, talking to many of those who are participating, many of you are dealing with finding it difficult to figure out the right screenplay, and we've talked about how that's okay. This isn't something to rush. When we make life changes, we just need to make sure that we're making progression and that we're not using excuses to backtrack and stay where we have been before. As long as you're making progression, that's okay. That's what we want. And each person's progression is going to be different. Your progression's not going to be like mine. And sometimes I'm going to move a little faster than you are. And then other times, you are going to move faster than I am. As we take a look at week 2, day 1, and we now know our screenplay. We've storyboarded it out and we have an idea of where we're headed. We've started taking a look at the location and where we are going to set up ourselves for success. Now what I want you to look at is starting to get ready to audition for the supporting roles of the movie of your life. I'm going to turn this music down just a little bit. You already know that as you are the director, and this movie is your life. So what that means is you already know who the starting role should go to. And I say should go to because sometimes we take ourselves not only out of the director's seat, but we allow other people to come in and take over the starting role of our lives. We allow others to become the main focus of everything that we do. But in doing this, something happens. What happens? We then take a supporting role, and the movie no longer becomes about us. We get pushed back, and our dreams and our goals and our vision of what we thought this movie could be like ends up not coming to fruition. And so then what happens in our dreams and our hopes is that we set them on a back shelf and figure that we're going to get to them. But the moment that you let someone else take the starting role of your life and your movie and someone else to sit in the director's seat, you will discover that you will, unless you choose to take back that control, those who are only supposed to have a supporting role in your life or no role at all will take over, and you will never find yourself once again where you're supposed to be, in the director's seat and in the starring role. We're going to be talking about auditioning for the supporting cast. You see, just as important of knowing the proper screenplay, setting out a storyboard for where you are going to head, and choosing to understand that you need to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time, thus, in essence, the right location for your movie or for the scene you're trying to shoot. Getting that right perspective. Just as important is who is going to be your supporting cast. When we think of movies that we may like, we always think of those who are supporting it. Disney's really good at making sure that they have that comic relief. You have Sebastian and Flounder, or you have the Seven Dwarfs. You always have some Entangled, it was the horse, and in Frozen, it was a snowman. What do we get from this? We get from this that there is no commonality in what that supporting cast is going to look like. But the commonality focuses that the supporting cast is literally there to support the main storyline. There are people who will try to force themselves to become a part of your life script. But if you really take a look at it, you realize they have no true investment and value to the story. But many times we allow them still to remain in the scene. Have you ever watched a movie where you sit there and you go, well, I really am not sure why that person was even there, or why that scene even happened, why that person even said it. That sounded almost forced. We allow that in our lives. When we take ourselves out of the director's seat, we allow the room for other people to bring themselves into our movie. What does this do? First of all, it devalues our movie. And when it comes to our life, those who have no business being a part of our life brings devalue to our life. They will be the ones that will not want your movie to be successful. They will be the ones who want to be the star and fight you for that star role continuously. They will put you down. They will question everything that you do. They will put a constant nagging in your mind and in your soul that you aren't able to make the mega blockbuster hit of a life that you are intended to do. There's only one person that can take them off the lot, the movie lot, and that is you, the director. So you need to question yourself right now. You need to ask yourself, who are the people that I'm allowing to be the supporting cast of my life that have no business being there? Sometimes this might be a family member. Sometimes it may be a close friend. But as you begin to change, they say the view at the top sometimes is lonely. And the reason being is because the further you begin to change your life and you make changes, those who once maybe had a supporting role in your life no longer should be there. They no longer want to be there. They want to pull you back into where they want you to be. If we keep this in the context of a movie, it is almost as if you as the director have this screenplay, you storyboarded it out, and you had supporting cast members that said, hey, I want that role. And you go, yeah, I'm going to give you that role. But then as you began to start moving forward into the actual filming context of your life, you as the director had to go back and change some stuff in the screenplay. You had to change some stuff in the storyboarding. And what you realized was that the person who you thought was going to be a supporting actor no longer has a role in this movie. Now you have to make a choice. Are you going to let them know that? Or are you going to just try to shove them into a new storyline that is brand new, ready for success, ready for that mega blockbuster that they no longer fit in? If you choose that, be ready for the essence of your movie to start crumbling. Be ready for them to start feeling as if they need to control and tell you how their script goes. They will try to take over the director's seat. So how do we audition for that supporting cast that will take us from point A on day one of filming to the end credits and to the movie premiere and even to the award shows? We do this simply by, first of all, understanding. We keep that screenplay in front of us. What is it that you dream of doing? What is it that you see are the principles of your life, the context of your movie? What is it that you are hoping to be as a person? Then, just as the title insinuates, you find the cast members that will support what you are trying to do. I have had people in my life, especially when it has come to my dreams and my visions. I dream big and I dream large. And I have gone and I have had people in my life who have been close to me. And I will share with them. It happened with Grit for Life. I shared with them what I wanted to see Grit for Life be. And I had people that didn't get it. They pretended they did because it's what felt good at the moment. But then when I started really getting in and taking time, and I said, well, I can't go do that with you right now because I have to go do this for Grit for Life, or I have to take this phone call because there's somebody that's in need, and they'd always be like, well, can't you just do that later? Well, no, I can't do that. This is part of my vision. This is what I shared with you. Oh, a few things will happen. One, some people will just take themselves right off the movie set. They will come to you and they will quit the movie and say, I'm out of here. And that's the best thing, because even as hard as it might be, it's easier when they take themselves off the set. But what sometimes happens, and most of the time happens, is they will hang around. They'll drink all the coffee, the free coffee. They'll eat all the food. They'll chit-chat in the makeup trailer. Might even walk through a scene that they weren't supposed to be in, and you're going to have to redo it. They're going to make it harder for you, and they're going to make it more, they're going to bring more time into the production that isn't needed. And in essence, they're going to set your production back. They're going to set your filming back. And that's going to mean, what that's going to mean is the release of your life blockbuster will be moved forward and not be able to be released the way it should have been. So some of the things that I want you to do when you start really digging in on who is it that should be your supporting cast is, like I said, you need to take a look at your screenplay. And in the context of, we're keeping this the director's thing, but what that simply means is you need to take a look at your life. By now, you should somewhat have an idea of where you're going, what you want to do in the next week, in the next month, in the next 6 months. You need to set it in stone that this is where I want to go. Then you need to start asking yourself, what is the value that this individual who I'm auditioning for the supporting role in my life brings to my life blockbuster hit? What is the value? Sometimes it's a name value. And when that comes into the context of what we're talking about, that could literally mean someone who's been there before. A director goes out and looks for those people that fit those good roles. It fits that supporting cast role. Maybe it's humor, maybe it's dark, maybe it's brooding, but they find that person who has done it before and has proven themselves over and over again to be able to fill that type of role. Don't be scared to go out and seek those who have been through hell and have shown that they can rise above, because they've already been there. They've already proven themselves. It may mean that you find that person that's never been in a role before in your life. You leave that door open a little bit, and that person walks in and you go, they may be auditioning for a supporting role in my life. Let's take a look at my dreams. Let's take a look at my vision. Let's take a look at my life principles. Do they fit into it? Do they speak hope? Do they speak vision? Do they speak passion? Or do they have anything that would hinder me and start pulling me back into the world I was in before I retook the director's seat of my life? When you can answer those questions, then you will begin to understand whether this person is going to get a call back or not. Just because someone auditions and immediately they seem to catch your eye doesn't mean they're going to get the role. It may mean they get a call back. You see, when an actor plays a role or auditions for a role, they come into it with auditioning for several different people. That list gets narrowed down. One of the things I think so many times that we have the belief of is that we have to surround ourselves with these large groups of people. And in reality, we do not. In fact, many times, if we do that, we will sometimes unnecessarily or mistakenly allow someone into our supporting cast that wasn't supposed to be there. So try to learn to really take control of who you allow access to your life. Just because they get to run coffee for you doesn't mean they get to be a supporting cast in the actual movie. They may have a limited amount of value, but it doesn't mean they get to be on set in front of the camera. That space is limited, and that space should be only reserved for the few who share your dreams, share your goals, share your vision, and share your value and principles for the future. This could change. You may put someone in one of those positions, and then further down the road, you will find out that, They're not exactly the fit that you thought they would be. That is okay, because as the director of the movie, you get to take them off the set. But you have to keep yourself in the director's chair to remember that. And remember, it is okay to cut people out of your life that hinder you from creating that blockbuster hit. I'm not sure where we got this idea that once someone is in our life, we have to keep them in our lives. We see this so many times when it comes to relationships. I talk to people who will sit there and have a relationship with someone and they say, well, we have so much in common. But then I ask them, I was like, well, what do you not have in common? And they start listing all this stuff off. And I say, okay, all right, what do you have in common? Maybe they can only list one or two things. And I asked them, I said, well, why do you still keep this relationship then? And their response usually is, well, I feel like I can change them. I feel as if that there could be something good. As the director in the middle of a movie is not your time to do acting classes. It's not. It is not your responsibility in the middle of your movie to teach someone how to be the supporting actor of your life. That's not your role. That is not the time. So you need to learn to understand that it is okay to say, I'm sorry, we once used to be able to hang out. But my life has changed. The script has been rewritten. Now it's time for me to move on. And in moving on, I find that there is friction here. And you are not the fit that I need for the supporting cast. You may have auditioned, but it doesn't mean that you got the role. It doesn't mean you got a call back. I really challenge you today in the soul portion of your mind, body, and soul to really write down and ask yourself, who is it that I need to support? It may mean that you you don't do callbacks at all. You may need a whole new group of friends, and you may find yourself sitting on a movie set going, I have the star of my show, that's me. I have the director, that's me. But damn, if I don't know who's going to be the supporting cast. Fantastic. Because now you know how to audition correctly for them. And be picky. This is your life. It is not theirs. This is your dreams. It is not theirs. They have their own movie. They have their own chance. This is yours. You only have one chance for this. We have one chance on this earth to get this moving forward. Yes, we may have sequences that we may have to go back and rewrite. When I say we have one chance and you may go, wow, I got one chance, did I already blow it? Not necessarily. But what I'm trying to say is, how much time do you want to invest only to find out halfway through the movie that you have to refire your whole cast? You've now set your movie back. And I would dare say that too many of us have already been there. So today, you need to find out who your supporting cast is. And as I said, you may find out that you don't have anyone right now. That's okay, because now you know what you're looking for. Now you know how to find it. So you say, well, what if I don't have anybody? What if I need a supporting cast of 4 and I've got 1 or 0? Then you start putting yourself in places, in positions that will allow you to run into the right people. I would dare say that going into the bar every Friday night and having a drink with some buds may not be the best place to find a supporting actor or actress. What you need to do is start getting out there, getting involved in the community, finding people like this in Grit for Life. I know the Grit Sisterhood, the Grit Brotherhood has been growing, and these are people who have done these workshops already and have begun to find others that they connect with across the globe that have the same vision and passion. Those people are your supporting actors and actresses. Tomorrow, we're going to be taking a look at, once you find the supporting actors and actresses, do they support you through the whole movie? Do we have an actor? Do we have an actor or actress that has only a few scenes? Or are they from beginning to the end? Only you will be able to decide that. But right now, you need to take control of your life from the director's seat. And you need to decide, is there actors and actresses or people who supposedly are walking around your movie set of your life and they shouldn't be there? It's time to kick them off the set and time to audition a new crew. Why? Because your response is your responsibility. Now, go grit it.